Good to have you join us again on the program. Still Business Rendezvous, reaching you live on independent television. I said at the opening that in today's edition we'll be examining the place of synergy in business growth and development in Nigeria, empowering young entrepreneurs. On the show this morning, I have a guest joining me, someone who is an expert in the field, Dr. Charles Ogogo, who is a business consultant, an author, and a mentor for young entrepreneurs. Good morning, Doc.
Oh, it's so nice.
Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. I hope the code is not too much out there.
It's okay.
Okay. All right, let's walk through. As an expert, what could you really say is synergy? The word synergy. What does it really mean to someone who is watching right now?
Okay. I did intense research on the word synergy.
Yeah.
Synergy, the greatest power to get results in business, in life, in everything resides in synergy.
Okay.
I'm going to explain to you.
All right.
But before I define the meaning of synergy,
Yeah.
you come to discover that the world is moving in the direction for synergy. Okay. Let me give you one quick insight. Russia, China, Brazil, they came together. India. I said, how do we dethrone US dollar dominance in the global economy?
Yeah.
In 2005. You know their finding?
No.
Their finding was synergy, to build international alliance. So in 2005, BRIC was formed, BRIC, and to incorporate Africa into that equation. Yes. South Africa was brought to the shore, so we now have our BRICS. But today other countries are joining BRICS. But it started with, Brazil, Russia. India, China, and South Africa.
Yeah.
Synergy. Then, when you look at the greatest military alliance today in the world, it's NATO. It's synergy. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, established in 1945.
Yeah.
So, but before I define again synergy, the Bible captures synergy ahead of humanity.
Okay.
So the Bible says in the book of Psalm, one will chase 1,000, and two 10,000. I synergy. So what then is synergy? A man by the name Igor Angsov, in his book called Corporate Strategy, unveiled the word synergy. He was the first person to bring synergy into business vocabulary or lexicon. Igor Angsov, in his book, Corporate Strategy. Go and get that book.
Okay.
So how did he define synergy? He simply said, it will amaze you, 2 plus 2, naturally what you have? 4.
Yeah.
But this man said, 2 plus 2 is 5.
Okay.
So there's an invisible one that gives you all 5.
So how did he get the invisible?
Oh my God, that is the mystery of business.
Okay.
It's mathematical permutation. It's like you, in the Bible, it is said 1 plus 1 in the permutation of marriage.
Yeah.
For scriptural perspective, 1 plus 1 is 1. But for human perspective, 1 plus 1 will give you 2.
Yeah.
But from divine perspective, 1 plus 1 is 1. So in this connotation, 2 plus 2 will give you 5. So that invisible one is what we call extra force, extra energy, extra advantage, extra impetus, extra momentum. So when people come to work together as a team, there's a release of extra force, extra power, extra advantage. And we call that word synergy. That's meaning of synergy.
Okay, let's look at it from the business perspective.
Okay.
What is the place of synergy in business development?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you know that the greatest software company today was Microsoft Incorporation? Corporation was established in 1975 through synergy.
Okay.
Bill Gates and his late friend Paul Allen met as a friend, and they established Microsoft Corporation is synergy.
Yeah.
Then the world's largest hardware company today, Apple Computers, synergy.
Okay.
Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs came together. Also in 1937, HP, Hewlett Packard, was established by two friends. David Packard and Bill Hewlett came together to establish HP, one of the business and management benchmarks of the 20th century. HP as well. So synergy is something that can transform any business. But the challenge today is that Africa is yet to discover and exploit this potential.
Okay. Now, can we really say synergy really works in Nigeria as it does in advanced economies?
Oh.
The names you've mentioned over time, or since we started, have been in advanced economies, abroad, bigger countries, bigger economies. But when we trickle it down to Africa and to Nigeria, basically, where we are, where you and I are right now, we're in Nigeria, do you really think synergy really work in Nigeria?
Now let's look at the three dimensions of synergy. We have the primary dimension.
Okay.
This is when people come together to establish a business. The primary dimension of synergy, like what Microsoft did, Apple Computer did. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not to really see that powerful brands in Nigeria. Okay. I look at Dangote is one man business.
It's a single economy.
To one man business. Okay. So look at corn oil, Glow, So the Nigerian businessman is yet to explore the primary synergy.
Okay.
So we have the secondary synergy. Okay. This is when members of team come together, driven by MD. Asking each member of the team to work together. So we have that in Nigeria, in Africa. Okay. Yes. Okay. The third one, the tertiary synergy, when corporation builds strategic alliances. We have that. Okay. Like I said last week, the Esama Benin Kingdom had its breakthrough in 1972. It began its business alone in 1968.
1968 to 1972.
They had a breakthrough in 1972. But how did they have its breakthrough? The tertiary synergy. Okay. He built partnership with Trucks of Japan, where he was nominated to represent that company in Africa, leading to the establishment of the first indigenous motor assembly plant in Nigeria, whereby the factory was able to produce 14 lorries and 14 vehicles per week, 40 per week. And Benin City became the hub of West Africa sub-region. Okay, he explored, the Estate of Benin explored tertiary synergy, building alliances, with Chrysler, Marco, from Brazil. So in Nigeria today, the primary synergy is yet to be cultivated, exploited.
So what do you think is the problem for us to exploit that primary synergy?
That question will be, I think this is when we understand the ingredients. Okay. Yes, when we understand the ingredient, of synergy. For synergy to work, there are certain things that have to be in place.
That would have been my next question, the likely ingredients for synergy, for a healthy synergy to work together.
Okay,
but I have to push in that question before I go there.
Okay. Okay. Now, for we to exploit the power of synergy, the ingredient that we need, the first is the legal the legal framework. In an advanced country, legal framework is very, very effective.
Okay.
The legal framework is very, very important.
Yeah.
Okay. Then number 2, technical details of the alliance, of the partnership. Very, very important. The technical details.
Yeah.
You know, the legal framework, the technical details, the professionalism. It's a serious business.
Yeah,
synergy.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now let me give you an example now. When Apple Computer was set up, the two visionaries,
yeah,
Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, they had a share of 26% each. 26% each. While the primary investor 26% also. The remaining were 22%,
yeah,
which were sold to other secondary investors. You know, so the 3 people who built alliances together,
yeah,
the Steve Wozniak 26% equity,
okay,
Steve Jobs 26% equity,
okay,
then the primary investor, you know, Mark, I can't remember right away now, you know, was given 26%.
yeah,
okay. Then Yahoo, when Yahoo was established,
the legal Yahoo,
yeah,
not the other way around Yahoo.
You know, the legal they call Yahoo. You look at Yahoo,
yeah,
okay, Y-A-H, yeah. Yet another highly officious oracle. That's the meaning of Yahoo.
It's actually an acronym.
Yes.
Okay.
Yet another highly officious oracle. That's the meaning of Yahoo.
Oh.
It was established by 2 friends, Yang and Philo.
Okay.
Jerry Yang, you know, and David Philo,
yeah,
came together to establish it. So they were called the chief Yahoos.
Still in the power of synergy.
Synergy, yes. Yeah. But they now got a primary investor.
Okay.
So each of them was given a 12% share. Then a man from a Japanese investor received 37%. He controlled the company because he had the largest share. Okay. He brought the MD. You understand? So these are the technical details. So for synergy to work in Nigeria, the new entrepreneurs, you must understand what the technical details of synergy, the professional detail of synergy, okay, the legal framework. So until all these are in place, we cannot have war. We cannot cultivate war, the primary synergy. That's the problem.
Okay, we need to go on a break now. This conversation will continue in the next few minutes. Let's take a short break. I still have my guest, Dr. Charles Ogogo, someone who is an expert in the field, telling us how synergy can play a crucial role in terms of young entrepreneurs breaking down. But let's take a break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us and go nowhere. Thank you very much for staying with us still on the program Business Rendezvous with yours sincerely, Lawrence Osifo. Still have my guest seated in the studio looking at the place of synergy in business development, empowering young entrepreneur, Dr. Charles Ogogo, a business consultant, an author, and a mentor. Still with me in the studio, giving us in-depth analysis and insight into the role of synergy in business development. So you've talked about the ingredients before we went on that break. Let's now look at some of the books or recommended books that people who are into young entrepreneurs who are into business can actually get to enhance their spirit of synergy in terms of breaking ground in whatever they are doing.
Okay. In the first place, I want to recommend there's a book I so much like, In Search of Excellence.
In Search of Excellence.
Okay. It was 2 authors authored the book.
Yeah.
We have Tom Peters and Robert Waterman.
All right.
Yes. And I quoted one book earlier on. That was Corporate Strategy.
Yeah.
Corporate Strategy. You know, by Tom Peters.
Okay.
Yes. So you have to get by Ingo Angsoff.
Okay.
Ingo Angsoff. Corporate Strategy. So these 2 books will really shape your mind. You know, to build your business from scratch. You know, so you can become a big business player.
Okay. Now, you mentioned entities like the Dangote and the likes, the Elomelus, being a sole entity that are running. They don't have people who are synergizing with them. don't you think this could also be a problem of integrity and trust? Because sometimes before you try to partner with someone or have a synergy with somebody to break ground, like you make mention of the HP and the Yahoo and all that, I think there was some sort of trust that people should have before. Don't you think we lack that in this part of the world, basically?
I think let me look at it from the point of orientation.
Orientation, okay.
Orientation. Orientation.
Yeah.
Now, I will explain to you.
Okay.
In a certain village, that had a water problem.
Yeah.
2 people were contacted, to supply water. So one of them went straight away to buy 2 buckets and started hauling water.
Holding water.
Hauling water.
Hauling water, okay.
From the lake to the village.
To the village.
And to expand his profit margin, he secured the services of his children and other laborers.
Adding up to his or hers.
The other guy traveled to town. He did 4 things.
Okay.
Number 1, he wrote his business plan. Number 2, he created a corporation.
Okay.
Then number 3, he hired experts that will help him drive the business. Number 4, he got investor.
Wow.
After 1 year, he returned back to that village with construction crew.
To sink boreholes.
Yes. Who constructed pipes from the lake to the village. Yeah. And the other guy watched in amazement when it was commissioned. He could not stand the high speed, high volume, a clean water delivery system
that the other person was giving out.
What was the difference? Business sense, orientation. So back to your question.
Okay.
The African man, the Nigerian man, needs to change or upgrade his mindset.
Okay.
The 1, number 2, trust.
All right.
So that takes me to my final word.
Okay.
My final word, for our viewers, non-entrepreneurs.
All right.
Number 1, for you to take your business to the next level, to the next dimension, for you to become a big player in the industry, for you to play the game of the rich. There's a game of the rich.
Okay.
Number 1, you must be able to manage attention.
Okay.
Number 2, able to manage meaning.
Okay.
Number 3, able to manage trust.
Okay.
Which is what you were saying.
Exactly.
Able to manage trust. Trust is the glue between a leader and a follower. Then the 4th one, manage safe.
All right.
When you're able to manage these 4 areas of your life, welcome to the world of the rich.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Charles Owowo, a business consultant, author, and a mentor in the field of entrepreneurship. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right.